All right, so we finally made it to the techniques portion of this DVD. I'm gonna break down the 5 fundamental techniques that are absolutely required to cornering more efficiently in the corners. Over the next few minutes, we're gonna be covering a lot of information, so make sure that you get a pen and a piece of paper and take notes, or if you have our workbook, you can open up to page 19 to the corner section and follow along with us. In this particular video, I'm gonna help you to corner and make you feel like you're on rails. Tip number 1 is that you weight the outside foot peg while going through the corner so that you don't end up like this guy. Most riders that we coach, we tend to see that they tend to weight the inside foot peg versus shifting their weight to the outside once they get into the corner. So make sure when you're coming into the corner that you stand up as long as possible into the corner, and then as soon as you get into the center, the apex of the corner, that you shift your weight from the inside to the outside and really weight the outside peg around the corner. What this is gonna do is it's gonna put the traction to the outside of the tires, which is gonna give you more traction to the ground, and it's gonna give you more confidence because you're gonna have more control going throughout the corner.
All right, now that we learned the techniques, it's time to go out and begin to practice this into your riding. So go find a corner and begin to transfer your weight from the inside peg to the outside peg once you get into the apex of the corner. We really suggest that you work on cone drills so that you can practice standing up as long as possible in the corner and transferring your weight from the inside to the outside peg, creating the muscle memory in your brain that's required for when you get out onto the track.
Oftentimes what we find is riders are not squeezing with their legs, but holding on tight with their arms. What this causes is arm pump or rider fatigue. It causes your weight to slide back on the motorcycle. And lastly, is it causes inconsistent corner speed. Check out these next few clips and as we show you what we're talking about.
All right, now let's hear from pro rider Alex Harville on why this secret tip is a must.
I'm Alex Harville. I'm a world record holder and a professional motocross and supercross racer. Attack position is number 1 in control of the bike. Controlling the bike is your arms and your legs. Mostly in your legs. You hold on with your legs, squeeze tight with your legs. That's what keeps you on the bike. Biggest mistake is people hold on really tight. But if you're holding on with your legs, you don't have to hold on tight with your arms. So you can relax a little. Because that's the biggest problem riding, is everyone gets arm pumped. And it's because they don't relax with their arms enough. They squeeze too hard, where all your control should come from your legs. And where you are positioned on the bike, you want to be on your toes, on the foot pegs, and squeezing. And you should be able to ride in this position anywhere. It's like that go-to basketball play that you always come back to here. This is your home in attack position. So you always come back to here and nothing can go wrong, because you try to push me over or get me forward or go back. I'm in attack position, so I'm ready to absorb any bump or anything that'll hit me and throw me off. With your elbows out and squeeze with your knees. Number 1, attack position.
Here's a great drill exercise that you can do to make sure you're doing this properly. While going through the corner, take one hand off of the handlebars. As long as you're squeezing the bike with your legs, you should still be able to maintain control while going throughout the corner. Do you often fail to execute corners properly? Well, in this techniques portion of the video, I'm going to give you a few techniques so that you don't end up like this guy. All right, technique number 1 is the same as the last tip. You need to make sure that you stand up as long as possible into the corner. Technique number 2, you need to make sure that you get far enough on the motorcycle that you can properly get over the pivot point of the motorcycle. Typically, we'll say this is about 2 fists from the gas cap of the motorcycle or where you put the gas into your bike. Technique number 3 is you need to begin to adjust your weight over the bike to adjust for dirt conditions. Look, anytime we're going through a corner, we're constantly fighting different kinds of soils and dirt conditions, whether it be loose, muddy, gravel, rocky. There's a ton of different kinds of conditions, and what we're looking for here is that you adjust your weight around the motorcycle to get proper traction to each tire going around the corner.
The secret to being fast in a corner is driving so hard that your wheels are right on the verge of slipping out. Now this can be controlled. Depending on your body positioning, this can reduce or increase this effect. We find that most people ride with neutral body positioning through the corner, or they weight the inside. You can increase traction to your wheels by simply adjusting your weight to the outside of the bike, driving traction to the outside of the tire. The more weight that you can drive to the ground, the faster that you'll be able to go.
Oftentimes what we find is most riders, they grip too tight with their arms and that they have their arms down at their side. We like to call this T-Rex arms. One thing is you'll notice is every time you're riding around a corner, anytime that your arm drops, this tends to drop your arm, which drops your shoulder, which drops your head, which drops your hips. And what that does is it affects the direction of the motorcycle. And so what most riders don't realize is when they're going through a corner and if they're not paying attention to keep their arms up, they drop their arms, which changes the direction of the motorcycle while going around the corner. So technique number one is we want to hold loose to the handlebars. So what we want to do is hold light to the handlebars, and we do this by squeezing with our legs. Technique number two is you want to make sure your arms are consistently up in the attack position. Anytime you drop an arm, you're going to adjust the lean angle of your bike. Oftentimes when coaching riders, we find that riders tend to pay too much attention right in front of their front fender. All right, so tip number one is you got to learn how to process more information. And that leads us perfectly into technique number two, because the way we do that is we need to fix our eyes from right in front of our fender to where you want to take the motorcycle. See, riding dirt bikes is all about processing information. And the way we do that is when we look ahead, it allows us to process much more information, which allows us to carry more speed throughout the corner. Tip number three is you need to direct the bike where you want to take the bike. So anytime you're coming into the corner, you need to be assessing in your mind what you're wanting to do on that next straightaway. Are you wanting to go on the outside to hit a certain line, or you want to take the inside? And in that case, you want to look and focus your direction on that part of the motorcycle track. As you do that, your bike will naturally track where you take the bike. You know, our bike goes where we tell it to go. Where we focus our eyes, our bike tracks that direction. Look, at the end of the day, we always have two options. A, you can do nothing. You can take this information and just continue doing what you've always done and get the same results that you've been getting on your motorcycle. But the fact that you're watching this video right now, we guarantee you that you have a desire to get better and become a corner master. And so I want to invite you to take action. Take each one of these techniques we've taught you and train each one individually. It's the reason why most people watching this won't create results is because they don't take action and they just do the same thing that they've been doing. So be different, don't be average, go out and train like a maniac. Train like a professional to get pro results, and I guarantee you, you're gonna be doing and achieving the goals that you've been wanting to achieve.